Hey, I was talking with somebody last night, and a typical kind of defense for money and wealth and stuff like that, somebody said money doesn't buy happiness. That's an absolute myth on that end of it. It's been proven, undisputed, that actually people who come from richer countries who have more money are overall happier on all levels. So that's just not the case whatsoever. But what you do with your money and how you do it definitely affects your happiness. So let's talk about that for a second. Say, for example, that you go out and you buy items. Items don't necessarily bring you happiness, but experiences do. And what do I mean by different kind of experiences on that? Experiences like, for example, and I've given this example many times, but I'll keep beating it over and over again, is flying business class. And the reason is that's an experience. That's an experience that's going to hit you on many different levels. First of all, everybody there is on a different kind of mindset, for the most part, that's in business class versus coach. And remember, you've heard this before too, you know this, but you want to practice it. You are a mixture of the people that you hang around with, whether you know them or not, okay? So by going out and being able to afford stuff like that, then at that point, you do buy an experience. It does make you happier. You get to recline, you get to lay out, you get to relax, the food is better, the service is better, your luggage comes up first, you're first through immigration line, all of that kind of stuff. It does improve the quality of your life versus waiting in longer lines. Does waiting in traffic or longer lines really make you happy? No, of course it doesn't. Neither will that in the airport with coach class. So if you can afford that, it will help bring you up to a different level. Mentor of mine on that end of it says this, it says go out and practice success before you make it on that. And that's one example of doing it there. You've also got to take a look at other areas in your life and see what areas of your life you can upgrade to. And this will change you psychologically, both the people around you and yourself. You'll take your levels and you'll bring it up higher. For example, think back at the very first automobile you ever bought. Now for most of us out there, the first automobile that we purchased was probably a clunker, right? It's probably no clunker. And if today, years later, you compare the car that you have now and you had to give that up for your older car, most of us, not all of us, okay, will relate to this, and it would be like they would get into it and they'd be like, oh my God, I can never go back to this. And you've reset your thermostat, you've reset your standards, and you're going to do whatever it takes to maintain what you've got right now rather than go back on that end of it. I know years ago, I went back and I visited the home that is an apartment that my mother and I lived in. She raised me as single, and it wasn't in the best of neighborhoods. It still isn't. It's still run down. And I would never go back there and live, okay, ever. My standards have completely upgraded on that end of it, and I could never go back. And so therefore I'll do things, I'll hang around people that's in those areas, you know. If you know people who live in bad parts of town, you know, and there always is in most parts of the world, say East LA. If you're from East LA, you say you're from East LA, people automatically have a particular thought and mindset about who you are, your mindset, what your expectations are, what their expectations of you are, and you're hanging around people like that all day long. Versus you take somebody like this, I've got some other friends that, I'm not a big one on education, but if that's your thing, that's fine. There's no worries with that. But they're a generation family that all went to Berkeley. Grandparents went to Berkeley, guess what? Parents went to Berkeley, guess what? Their kids go to Berkeley, and the grandkids, where are they probably gonna go? Berkeley. And that's Berkeley University, by the way, in graduate school. And they all went to graduate school. Most of them are lawyers and doctors. And that's the kind of environment, those are the expectations that they live in. When you start surrounding yourself around other people like that, then you raise your level to that. Likewise, if you lower yourself and stay down low, then you're gonna just stay within that group mindset. And that's why experiences and money can buy you freedom, and it can certainly buy you happiness. And it's not just first class, it's nicer cars, it's nicer food, it's better healthcare system. It's better in a lot of different ways. So if you hold on to that idea that, hey, money does not buy happiness, you're just holding on to something that's dragging you down and keeping you exactly where you are on that end of it. So my name is Chris Winters. Hope you enjoyed that little rant. Take care.